Welcome to a new video. This one took me a little bit longer to share, but I am here. So the first thing that I have to say, I have to confess, is that not a lot has happened with my summer sewing plan. If you haven't seen that video, I'm gonna tag it here. It's a compilation of all the different fabrics that I have thrifted and the patterns that I have found to make garments with those said fabrics. I have only finished, by the time that I'm recording this intro, 2 things. Besides the items that I already shared in the first video where I updated you with the things that I have made. I'm also gonna tag that video here if you're curious, if you haven't seen it. I also think that I should mention that those 2 videos in this series of my summer sewing plan have received a lot of love and somehow people have found them and have resonated with it. And because we're most likely meeting for the first time, my name is Natalia. I am a creative. I have gone through a journey in the past 2-3 years after having a stationery company where I have found that the moment I give myself an identity, meaning the moment I call myself a painter, a jewelry maker, whatever, you name it, my soul does this and then it rebels and then it doesn't want to do anything. And then my creativity just kind of like stops. And so now I just call myself a creative. And whatever is flowing in this season, I am allowing my creativity to guide me. And this is where I find myself now, sewing and learning to create patterns, hopefully to design some patterns that I can share with you in the future. All right, so you may have noticed that I am actually wearing one of the things that I was planning to make in this summer plan or in this summer sewing plan. And I am not happy with it, but I'm wearing it because it is hot and it was in my closet and it kind of called me. What do I have in my fingers? I mentioned this in this summer sewing plan that I was using a fabric that the pattern specifically says not to. And so I was taking a risk. And I think the fact that this fabric is a little stretchy and the pattern said not to use fabrics with stretch, but there I was wanting to rebel against that. And honestly, I'm still glad that I made it because I learned my lesson. I can see where in the pattern and in the process of making this garment, this stretch is actually a problem. And so the first thing that you'll notice is that the neckline is kind of like, loosey-goosey. I think the size is the right size for me. So let me just get up and show you what I'm wearing and how I am wearing it. So this is what I chose to wear it with. It's really hot here. And I just went out and it was actually really comfortable to wear. This fabric is actually polyester. And if you didn't watch the other videos that I mentioned before, this was leftover fabric for a home project. And I was like, I think I can use this for this pattern. And I don't hate it, but I don't love it either. There's something about it, whether it's like this neckline that is like very wide and kind of like flimsy, or just like the color of the shirt. I don't know exactly what it is, but I just don't love. Because the neck is like quite wide and like, again, like I said before, like flimsy, or I don't know, you know what I mean. It is actually kind of like doing this thing where like it goes down this shoulder, which I'm fine with it. I think it adds to like the asymmetric kind of look. And one of the most interesting things, I guess, about this pattern, I think the whole pattern is really cute, but one of the most interesting things is like the pleats that you create here. And because again, this fabric doesn't have structure to it, it's kind of like it has a little stretch to it, and it's really light. Those pleats kind of like get lost. All right, I finished my crochet bag and I am so happy with the final result. I actually have to cut this little end here. But I kind of like just went with my gut and like I created this little handle. I braided these straps. I don't think I mentioned this in the last video where I mentioned that I was making this, but I had originally seen this bag on Pinterest and I was able to find the creator. And the creator is, I believe, in Russia. And when I try to buy the pattern, I could not buy the pattern. I'm still gonna tag the person, the creator, designer, and the pattern itself if you wanna try to buy it. I could not, for the life of me, buy the pattern. So I went ahead and I tried to create something similar for myself. And I'm keeping this as a personal project. I am not trying to make money out of this or anything like that. I am in love with this purse for many reasons. As you can see, it already adds a little something to the outfit. And if I wanted to, I could wear it like this as well. So really happy about this make. Really, really cute. The second thing that I had shown you in the previous video maybe is this Lirio top that I felt like it was missing something. So I did a couple things as you can see, but I haven't finished it. I just wanted to show you the updates. I added a little embroidery in some of the buttons and they are like little flowers. I used a heat erase marker, so I actually haven't cleaned those lines if you see them. And another thing that I did was that I used, I'm forgetting the name of that product, but it's like the liquid kind of like glue situation that you use for buttonholes so that they don't fray as much. I added that on top of the flowers. It changed the texture a little bit of the embroidery, which I didn't love, but I think is going to actually serve a good purpose there. And the last detail that I am doing is adding this tiny little embroidery things here. And for that, I did add interface so that it was easier to do the embroidery. I Frankensteined that interface. As you can see, I didn't really do a good job. I just didn't really care much because it's in the inside. I think I'm going to do this little detail only in the front. I don't think I'm going to do it in the back, even though I think it will look really cute. I just don't know if I have it in me. At least it's not something that I'm gonna do right away. But I am quite happy with how cute the flowers look. And that little detail also adds something to it. I also made this cute top for the Colombia versus Portugal game. And this is one of the reasons why I didn't want to embroider anymore for the Lirio top. I made this out of a shirt that my husband gave me, and I think it came out pretty cute. I feel like I'm in a show and tell kind of like show or situation. I don't know if that's the right word actually, but I figure I'll show you a couple other things that I've been doing. So one of the reasons why I haven't really been so productive with this plan is because it's going to be my husband's 40th birthday in a few days. And so I've been doing things for him and for the birthday celebration. So this was a shirt that he had bought and it didn't fit him. And so I was testing I guess the pattern you could call it for a golf club cover. Took me a while to say that. And this was actually the test for the main one, which I actually don't love as much as far as like the aesthetic of it. So I had this fabric left over from a bag that I made, and I had embroidered this quote, which is from a building I think he saw in Miami, and he really liked this picture or the quote, and we had a whole conversation about it because this is kind of like my cosmology. This is how I see life, and he's actually a risk manager. So his mindset is always looking for like the risks of things and what could go wrong. And so we have really interesting conversations when it comes to that. And then I also did this little beaver situation. It was my first time doing cross stitch on fabric, and I bought the wrong Ida fabric. I should have used something that was easy to like pull the cross stitch fabric itself, but I actually don't mind how it looks. It's cute. And the reason why I chose a beaver is because I love animals and I love talking about their essence and what they represent. And my husband is pretty much like the beaver. He's always planning. He's always the one that is creating things and putting together groups and putting together plans. He's just like a cute beaver. And yeah, so these are two cute little projects that I made for him. This beaver took me easily 6 hours to make. So yeah, I know he'll appreciate it. All right, I really want to have a lot of progress with my plan and I want to stay focused. And so I actually got a projector and I already set it up. I thought it was not going to happen. I almost gave up. And then at the last minute, I decided to download the software and it worked. And I actually used it for the first time already. If you're curious about that, let me know and I can probably just like share that in a different video. So today I'm just going to lock in and I'm going to cut as many patterns as possible and we'll see how much I get done. Okay, it's a new day and I am starting to sew today. I was able to cut 2 different patterns yesterday and they're going to be for a set. I am going to be using this fabric, which was originally a shower curtain that I had in one of my bathrooms. And I really wanted to reuse this fabric once I changed those curtains in my bathroom. And this is going to be used for the top that is part of a set, the sable set. And I'm also gonna be doing this high-waisted shorts. The pattern for the high-waisted shorts didn't include seam allowance, which was a little bit of a pain to work with. That one I printed. I think I mentioned this yesterday. I got a projector and my idea yesterday was to use the projector and cut as many patterns as possible, but I didn't end up doing that. So now I'm going to be reading the instructions for the top and I'm already finding out that I completely missed a couple things that I think were important to know before cutting. And I really hope that I didn't ruin this because this is all the fabric that I have. I do think that it may be a little bit small, so we'll see. Wish me luck. This is where we're at. I added all the elastic. This went pretty smooth, so I hope that everything is going smooth. I am a little concerned about the size. Yeah, I don't know if I should have gone with a bigger one, with a bigger size. We'll see. I hope not. I hope this is the correct one. I'm also having a little snack break and I'm having cherries. My husband got cherries. And I mean, aren't cherries the most beautiful thing? I think they're absolutely beautiful. And when you look at them, when the sun is like shining on them, it's almost like they are pearlescent, but you would never think that they're pearlescent. It's just like they're beautiful. And also they're the most delicious thing. Every time I eat a really good fruit, I'm like, how is this real? How is this real? It's incredible. It's the most delicious thing ever. What fruit do you love? And what fruit you don't love? I'm from Colombia and we have so much fruit and there are so many delicious varieties. One of my favorite ones is granadilla. And it's this like weird thing to eat, but once it touches your mouth, you're like, whoa, what is this delicious thing? It's like sweet and refreshing and like, it's just like nothing else. I love fruit. Things are going well. I don't even want to say it out loud, but I haven't made one mistake, which is surprising. But now I am supposed to press seams open on this edge where I have like a lot going on, and honestly, I don't even know how to do that. I'm not sure if I am the only one that feels this way, but sometimes I feel like ironing and pressing seams open and things like that is probably the hardest part of sewing. I don't know, it just makes me kind of like, well, if I'm gonna crease everything if I do it wrong, and then that may, like, I have no idea how to press the seams open on this. I keep this little watering can, and this is how I refill my vintage iron. Works great. And I don't have to keep going to the bathroom to get water. My iron is kind of like a little dinosaur now, but I like it. So it seems like I don't have great updates of my makes in this video. So this is the Ellie set, I believe. I will confirm and I'll put a picture here. And I'm gonna put this here just so I can show you better. So I think I chose a size too big for me. And so I don't love the top. It's not doing anything for me. The sleeves are like way too puffy and kind of like too long for me. I'm not liking any of the proportions, but I do think that the main issue is that it is a little too big on me. The shorts, I think they were also a size too big, but I actually don't mind the shorts. I've been actually wearing the shorts a lot because they're really comfortable. So I just wear them here in the house. I do think that because they're kind of like baggy, and again, maybe the fabric, the shape of them, they were really long. I actually shortened them, and I used that length to make the hem wider. I thought that would make them look less kind of like pajama. And I think maybe they do, but I'm still wearing them like pajamas or just being comfortable at home. Actually, I think the day before I finished this, or I should say the day after I finished this, I was working out and I hit myself so bad. I don't know if you've seen it in the videos that I've shared or the clips that I've shared in this video. You may see it here. It's already healing. And that day I was like, okay, I'm wearing this. And the whole day I was with my leg up on the couch with ice. So I've used it. So that's it for this one. We're going to end this video on a sad note for a couple of reasons. The first one is that, as you can see, the top is just way too small for me. I don't feel comfortable. I made a couple mistakes and I want to share what I think my mistakes were. Let me put this here. I will confirm what size I ended up going with. I believe the sizing for this set was an alphabetical size chart. And I believe I went with a size P, but I will confirm that and put it here when I'm editing the video. Pretty much everything that I have made, I always end up feeling like I chose a size too big. And how I've been choosing my size is by looking at the final garment size, and then I compare my measurements. And if I have an ease of like 5 to 4 inches, depending of course on the garment, I'm like, okay, that feels like it should be my size. And so with the past garments that I've made, I feel like things have been a little too big on me. For example, the Ellie set, I think I chose a size medium and I should have gone with a size small. With this one, I did exactly the same thing. However, now that I'm wearing it and now that I understand how it's made, what I think I should have done, and if I'm gonna make it in the future, because I do like the shape, but it does make me question if more than the size mistake, or choosing the wrong size, I should say, I'm having an issue with the type of strapless kind of like construction, because since I have an elastic in the back, that is obviously gonna pull the garment back. And so it makes this look very tight. It is tight. It is not, obviously it's not loose, but it's also not like uncomfortably tight. It just looks way tighter than it actually is. And so I'm thinking maybe the construction and the shape of it is more of like my issue. And looking back at the pictures of the product, I'm like, oh yeah, it looked like that. I just didn't think too much about my own body and how that would translate in my body. But if I do make this again, what I would do is that, well, naturally, I know now that I should size up regardless. So I would start with choosing a size up, but I would also measure the front panel of the top, because I think my issue, more than this looking very tight here, my issue is that I don't like that my side seams are pretty much almost in the front of my body. I would like this side seams to go back almost like an inch. I wouldn't even want them right in the middle of my body. I would want them like even further back. So I would measure the front panel of whatever size I choose, and I would make sure that that actually wraps around and that the side seams end where I want them. Another thing to keep in mind with this top is that you actually have 2 layers. So I used the same fabric for the lining. If I hadn't done this, I would probably be making it again a size bigger. But when I noticed that I had enough for the main fabric and the lining to be in the same fabric, I just went with it. But I think the fact that there is a main fabric and a lining also adds to the structure of this top, making it even tighter, which also makes it really nice. And I actually like how it fits in the back. Like, you know, it actually fits well in the back. My issue is the front panel. So that's it for the top. And now for my shorts. I'm gonna have to hold this up here and just show you awkwardly. But as you can see, the shorts have a flat band here, and then there's an elastic here. This gave me such a hard time. I thought I was not gonna make it happen. I ended up using a narrower elastic than the instructions called for, because I had to close this waistband by stitching in the ditch. And stitching in the ditch with a thick elastic and stretching the fabric and the elastic was not easy. And so I fixed that by going with a narrower elastic. However, because there's no elastic here, this kind of like gathers are looking a little weird and funny, but I'm okay with it. I'm fine with it. At some point, I thought that I had chosen a size too small for the shorts, but I think it's a perfect size for me. This band flares out a little bit, and even if I had made the elastic tighter, I still have that issue. And so I didn't really care much. I don't want to have an elastic that is tight on me. I definitely don't want to wear an elastic that is tight on me. I would rather wear a high-waisted pant with a belt that is hard versus an elastic that is tight. I don't know why, but a tight elastic just feels horrible in my body. So yeah, so these are the shorts. They have pockets. I love how the pockets feel. I love the length of the shorts. I love how it fits in the back. Usually pants and shorts for me are too big here, but I don't think that that's the case with this one. I think I'm gonna be making them again once I get over the fact that I spent hours trying to make the waistband work for me. So I think I'm gonna end this video here. I wanted to make another garment and include it in this video, but this week I want to prioritize spending one day in a local volunteering center that is helping send donations to Venezuela. You may or may not know that Venezuela suffered a horrible, devastating disaster, natural disaster last week. 2 magnitude 7 earthquakes, 7.2 and 7.5 earthquakes hit Caracas in Venezuela. There are thousands of people affected by this devastating tragedy, and they need our help. And so I'm going to leave a couple links in the description of this video of organizations that are collecting funds to help the people in Venezuela. Any type of donation makes a difference. And if you live in a place where you can actually go and volunteer in any of the places that are sending all of the donations to Venezuela, that would also help a lot. I know that's not the case for all the cities and towns and whatever you are, but if you are able to help with any donation to any of the organizations that I'm sharing here, that would really, really help many people. Okay, I am going to take this off because it is not comfortable. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you in the next video.